Hello, welcome to the orchard. We're going to discuss two trees today and we're going to look at a thing called overpollination. What is overpollination? Well, what can happen is trees can set too much crop too early. So first we're going to look at a tree which is healthy. This is Chisel Jersey. It was planted 5 years ago. It's on MM106. That's a perfectly good rootstock for this cider apple. And if you look carefully, you'll see there are some fruits setting. They're doing very well. There aren't too many. There's probably about a dozen fruits on this tree, which is about right for the age. And there's plenty of new growth, plenty of healthy new growth, nice extension growth going up here. We've got at least 30 centimetres or more of new growth, completely uneaten because of the way we grow with our secondary plant metabolites, which secrete or cause the secretion of tannins and other great chemicals that stop the eating of leaves. We don't get aphids particularly on these trees. And you'll notice how wide the leaves are. That's the zinc and all the trace elements really working very well. And next year you can see already there are flower buds forming. So everything's working very well. This is a tree in balance. There are no deficiencies. There's no real pest attack. There's a small crop. Perfectly happy with this tree. So here we are at the other tree. So it's the same tree, it's Chisel Jersey, it's on the same rootstock, MM106. It was planted 5 years ago in exactly the same way. But look at the way the tree works. It's got very, very small leaves. They look dehydrated. There's virtually no new growth on it. And the tree looks as though it's dying, actually. But in fact, what's happened is this tree set a big crop of cider apples last year, which we harvested and we made some cider with, actually. And it also flowered again this year. It had far too much blossom on it, of which virtually all of it set. And as a result, that tree became dominated by a hormone called auxin, which is stimulated really through the production of the seeds. Once the seeds start forming inside the fruits after pollination, auxin levels build up very rapidly, and it tends to switch off root development, cytokinin growth, induced growth, and as a result the tree was really struggling between the flower production and new growth. There was a contest and the flowers were winning, so the tree sort of ground to a halt. The remedy is quite straightforward. About 8 weeks ago I root drenched this tree with seaweed extract, 20 millilitres in 4.5 litres, 4 teaspoons in a gallon. And I also foliar fed that with the same dilution rate. So basically just watering can over the foliage. Took all the flowers off, cut them all off with scissors. And then I've done the same again 4 weeks later. And you can start to see the results. The tree's now responding, it's putting on new growth. The dormant buds that were sort of held back by the auxin are now developing. You've got that nice thick growth. And before long, the tree will re-establish itself and get its balance back. But I think it's a real case of lesson learnt here, and don't let your trees fruit too early or have too much blossom.